Cyberpunk, The Flame That Remains. Written and read by Ethan Taplin. Chapter 2. She Wore Her Age Lightly. Naustrand, 2068. Prosopon.aic. Operation Log. Level Restricted. Handler Access Only. Designation Frost Chamber. Date and Time 2068, July 22nd, 3:31 a.m. Assigned Agents: Asgard, Midgard, Alfheim, Niflheim, Muspelheim. Objectives: Perform recon and data extraction from a decommissioned Militech black site buried beneath permafrost in northern Alaska. Mission outcome: Success. Casualties and damage: Agent Niflheim suffered cybernetic damage. Agent Muspelheim suffered severe hypothermic trauma to cyberware post-mission. No fatalities observed. Anomalies noted. Comm signal strength dropped to 22.01% at 4:15 a.m. and remained at or below this level for 1,128 seconds. Muspelheim Performance Evaluation. Agent recovered 95.22% of invaluable data from corrupted AI data shard. Agent suffered severe hypothermic trauma post-mission. Notes: Agent Asgard exhibits continued growth in command position. Agents Niflheim and Muspelheim failed to cooperate at greater than 76.88% efficiency. Tag: Mission Report. Mission Success. Frost Chamber. Asgard. Midgard. Alfheim. Niflheim, Muspelheim. End of report. The yawning gate ground to a halt behind the AV as it passed through, the blast door's locking mechanisms crashing into place. The gate, disguised as the rock face of Tvillingsten Den, hid the Naustrand facility perfectly. The corpse shore awaited. Cold, white rooms, a mechanical hum in the air, and the ever-watchful guardian, Prosopon. The AV's interior displays showed the facility landing pad as the vehicle touched down. The displays darkened as the door slid open, allowing the 5 occupants to exit. Each wore a black bodysuit covered with white armor plating and carried a weapon at their hip or slung across their back. The unit was comprised of 4 girls and a boy of relatively similar ages, all early adults, save one, Muspelheim, the small girl with platinum hair, younger than the rest, but no less seasoned. She wore her age lightly, like armor disguised as innocence. The Naustrand complex looked as though it belonged on a distant planet rather than within an expansive cavern. 9 domes formed a ring in the center of the complex, with smaller domes and tunnels forming a spiderweb around them. It looked like a proposal for a colony on Mars, not the secret home of Emir Scandatech's prized operatives. In the very center, a mess of illuminated wires was twisted into a poorly braided tower that extended up toward the cave roof, like the silhouette of an enormous, glowing tree. More accurately, the wires hung from the cave roof. 1,000 computers were suspended in the air above the miniature city, cooled by the year-round frigid air of the mountaintop, which was filtered, pumped into the cave, and pulled out at an even rate that ensured that the neural network of their ever-watchful guardian would never suffer from overheating. The cables snaked down to the platform upon which the many domes were constructed, then split into a pattern like tree roots to plug into every access port in the facility. Prosopon saw all, knew all, recorded all. There was no escaping its watchful gaze, with a 360-degree camera in every room. For added effect, the spherical cameras displayed an ever-seeing eye on the outside of the lenses. Prosopon was not simply the guardian of the Nihaimar. The artificial intelligence inhabited the Naustrand facility so completely that it had become the corpse shore's metal soul. Asgard, the eldest of the 5, placed her palm against the glass screen of the control panel by the security door, which flashed green and allowed them to enter the facility. Just 2 hallways from the entrance, the group found themselves in a locker room. 9 lockers were embedded in one wall, while an equal number of shower stalls could be found along the opposite. As each of them removed their armor, showered, and dressed, Prosopon's eyes never left a single one of them. They'd long since stopped flinching under its gaze. Shame had no place here. Muspelheim, the youngest, dressed in the t-shirt and shorts that she had been provided in her locker, each bearing the Emir Scanditech logo. Her blonde hair fell around her face in a damp mess as she pulled on her shoes, then began to detach the armor plates from the bodysuit she'd stripped out of. The white metal scales were stacked neatly in her locker, and the suit was deposited in a receptacle with the other articles of dirty laundry. The others were going through the same process at various speeds. She exited the locker room shortly after Midgard, with Alfheim close behind. They each were headed to one of the 9 central domes that served as their private quarters. Midgard took the clockwise path to his dome, while the girls walked the opposite way. The hallway formed a ring around the central domes, the transparent ceiling allowing travelers to see out into the cavern surroundings. It matched the designs of the domes, transparent beginning a third of the way up. I almost forgot what warmth felt like in my hands. Muspelheim flexed her fingers as though it would prevent the mechanical joints from seizing again. Feels so good to be warm again. Alfheim sighed contemplatively. Cold strips away comforting lies, exposes only honest truth. Heat brings lies. Heat forgives too easily. Her eyes wandered as she brushed away a stray hair from her face. She pulled the thick pink blanket draped over her shoulders tighter around her slender frame. I guess I prefer the lie then. The snow felt like razors. Alfheim chuckled quietly. You move well in suffering. It suits you in a way it doesn't suit the rest of us. You say the strangest things after missions. Muspelheim glanced sidelong at her sister. Only to you. They were halfway to Muspelheim's dome when they were pinged with a message from Prosopon. Operation complete. Codename requirements rescinded. Why do you think Prosopon always scans me first? Sophie wrapped her arms about her midriff. The synthetic skin covering her chrome fingers still cold to the touch. Astrid adjusted her blanket again. Perhaps it finds you interesting. Or maybe it's looking for something only you haven't learned to hide yet. Sophie's eyes darted back and forth as she tried to parse the older girl's words. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing important. Just... sometimes the youngest carry the oldest secrets. Astrid's voice seemed to drift into the distance. You'll understand one day. Or you won't. Sophie stared at her sister for a moment. You're a terrible comfort. I'm not here to comfort you, little flame. Her voice sounded like she either didn't believe what she was saying or wished that she didn't. I'm here to see what you'll do with the fire.